Good morning, O Be Joyful Church. I hope that this message finds you doing well. I want to take a few moments this morning and look again at the disciples and the several hours that they spent tracking with Jesus until he went to the cross, and what that must have felt like for them and how it relates to us and what we can learn from their experience. And the place that I want to look at this morning is when Jesus takes the disciples from the Last Supper and they go to the garden. And in the garden, they have that moment where they fall asleep when he asks them to wait for him. Just wait while he prays. And Jesus has that agonizing moment asking God if this cup could pass from him. And I just cannot imagine how intense it was for Jesus and how much the disciples actually missed by sleeping through it. Let me read it to you. It's from Matthew 26. The section I'm going to read is verse 36 and a little following that. Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over and pray." And taking with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee, he began to be sorrowful and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." And going a little further, he fell on his face and he prayed, saying, "My Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but you will." And then in verse 40, and he came to the disciples and he found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, "Could you not watch with me 1 hour?" And this happens 3 times. And the third time he comes back in verse 45, he says, "Then he came to the disciples and he said to them, 'Sleep and take your rest later on. See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. My betrayer is at hand.'" You know, that had to be a pretty humiliating story for the disciples to hear read over and over or told again and again when they remembered what Jesus did for them. I mean, would you have wanted to think back and reminisce with them and say, "Hey, you remember that time when we fell asleep on Jesus in his most agonizing moment?" I just don't feel like that felt too good. But I'm wondering what we can learn from them. And I picked out a couple of things of many. One is this: draw close to Jesus in dark times. Or another way that I might say that is, be awake and alert spiritually. In dark times, be awake and alert spiritually and draw near to him. Yes, we need to get out for a walk. We need to feel the sun. We need to spend time reading and relaxing and working and all the things we need to do for our health. But the most important thing we can do is draw near to Jesus. Spend time with him and time in his word. Draw near to him, be alert and awake. And secondly, be blessed by this truth that those disciples learned. And I think this is one reason they can look back on that moment and not be as ashamed as they might have been. Because even when they were distracted, they were so tired that they fell asleep, even in his moment of agony, Jesus still went through with the thing that he came to do, to die for them, to bring them redemption. Even when at the last moment they gave him reason to doubt, he followed through. And it's the same with us. We give reason for doubt, but Jesus follows through. And so I want you to be blessed by that thought. Like the disciples, we receive redemption from him. Y'all enjoy your day.